So I was talking a couple episodes ago about drinking out of garden hoses.
Yes.
As every 80s kid should have, but I don't think I should have because it was in Sugar Creek when I was doing it. And I grew up, like, as of last week, I learned that my neighborhood in Sugar Creek was way too close to the refinery that had all the chemical spillage leaching out into the soil and into the water table and all that shit. There are, hundreds if not thousands of people with long-term health issues with that, with cancers popping up here, there, and everywhere, and like, holy smokes! Like the guy in the news article I read about, he grew up like on the other side of 24 Highway. So I'm zooming out. I'm like, well, where the hell is 24 Highway from my old address? And I zoom out, and I zoom out, and I zoom out, and I'm like, well, that's way the hell down there. I was like not that far at all. I'm like, oh god damn.
I'm still here, man.
Yeah, for now.
It's like what was it George Carlin said?
Do you have a third nipple?
Yeah.
I was born with one side longer than my other. And
What, arms and legs?
yeah.
Oh wow.
And there's like down here there's like a little, people would say it's a mole, but I always call it my
Technically, that's a third nipple.
Almost third nipple. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a weird mutt.
I think Chandler from Friends had a third nipple. He used to talk about. No, he had a tail. Have you ever known anybody with a tail?
No, just I don't think so. If I did, they didn't tell me about it. And I think that's not things that you like go around and say, hey, you guys want to see my tail?
It was several seasons into it, I think, where he was talking about Chandler Bing tail. Let's see if it says it. Chandler can't smile.
This is great.
Miss Katie made us some homemade tiramisu.
Apparently I'm wrong. Yes, delicious tiramisu. First time I had it was at Cinsetti's. Are you familiar with that?
Wait, the
You better
buffet
believe.
place?
Yeah, the buffet, the Italian buffet.
The fancy buffet.
It was
place.
good. It was good. This is better. This is better.
So yummy. And I liked how the design of the Glencairn glass on the thingy was there.
Yeah, right before you guys got here, I like rounded the corner and I see her and I'm like, what you doing? Why are you cutting out a little Glencairn glass?
Like trying to make a surprise, ding dong.
She's like, nothing.
Not
Like,
doing
I'm
nothing.
just going to walk away now.
Who, me?
and pretend
I
didn't
ain't
say
doing
anything.
nothing.
Well, speaking of drinking out of hoses, did you?
Hose or hoses?
Well,
Gar.
to be determined. Did you ever do that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, yeah.
My neighborhood, it was, you couldn't go home because you'll get fucking yelled at.
You would just run up to any random house.
Random house, random garden hose.
You just
There was no going back inside for a drink.
no. If you,
You're outside.
that's how
you're
you got.
outside.
That's how you got grounded if you came back inside. Like, I told you to go outside and play. Don't come back till the lights come on.
I'm sorry. You got to pee? Go back behind the garage.
Gosh, there's a bush, there's a tree. Your boy, it don't matter.
I was the dirt. My neighbors had a little garden on the side of their house, and they were growing like tomatoes and stuff.
Damn it, Phil.
And so I would not only
You're peeing on the tomatoes, aren't you?
no, but I would steal their garden hose water, and then I would steal their tomatoes. And there was this one day I was going to run away from home, and so I basically picked their garden clean and put it in a bag, and I started making my trek. I made it probably like I basically walked around an entire block and ended up back home.
Because you can't cross the road.
Yeah, because I basically just walked around the block and came back home with a bag of like vegetables.
My ex-wife fucking loved that story. God, she would laugh. Yeah, you were just a little kid and you couldn't cross the street when you ran up.
Oh man, even worse, those same neighbors, I found a lighter in the garage, and they had like one of those little plastic play tents or whatever, and I found a little piece of wood, and I'm in their garage next to gas cans, lighting a piece of wood on fire next to a plastic tent, and the neighbor hears the little And she opens the door to the garage, and I look up at her. I'm panicking. I'm like, sorry. And she goes, oh, yeah, you are. And she grabs me by my wrist and fucking yanks me back over to my dad's, to my house.
Oof.
And my dad answers the door, and she goes,
You know what your son
this
did?
guy was in our garage trying to set fire next to a gas can and a plastic plate tent. And he's like, thank you. I'll take it from here. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, no.
What am I doing?
My feet left that front porch, traveled all the way across the house into a couch before I even felt the ground again. And I was like, oh, man, this is bad.
Learning to fly. Learning to fly. But I ain't got wings.
That was definitely one of those childhood life flashing before your eyes moments.
Mm-hmm. Well, that didn't take long.
Yeah.
Let's run it again.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I lit a, we had a house that we were renting, whatever, my mom and her boyfriend, and for whatever reason, there was some girl, neighborhood girl, and I was trying to show off by lighting things on fire. Well, it was in my kitchen on the floor, linoleum.
Oh my God.
I know. And so, it was like a styrofoam box, that you get for, your doggy bag or whatever, your leftovers. It's styrofoam. Pull it out of the trash. I'm like, these things light up pretty good. And so I light it up.
Toilet paper tubes do too.
Mm-hmm.
So I light it. It's all these little like hanging black soot things floating around in the air. I'm like, this is fucking weird. Meanwhile, the fire's bigger than I am, and I'm like, what did I say?
It was bad.
I said I can handle it. Is what I said. And so I go get some water. I'm throwing it on there. It's not exactly working, so I get more water and more water and more water. Eventually, it goes out, and we just take off. We take off. I come home and I'm in fucking trouble.
Yeah,
She's like, "What the fuck, Mom?" Rest in pieces, ma'am. But she was like, "Mom, what the fuck did you do on the kitchen floor?" I'm like, "Oh, I was trying to. The girl was here. I was sorry." And, I didn't have an answer. I'm like, 8 or whatever at the time. What's your pyromaniac story?
Oh, I got so many. Bigger time than him.
Yeah. Man,
You brought up the toilet paper tube.
Yeah, I don't have a specific story, but I do remember that, in the bathroom, lighting a toilet paper roll on fire, and then trying to get the exhaust fan on and get rid of the odor or whatever. But no, I would say, I was, some weird reason, I was put in charge of the barbecue grill a few times. Dad was not good with the barbecue grill. Sorry, Dad. But so I doused everything down and then I found a gas can in the garage, and I'm like, well, that's flammable. And so I did the trail on the sidewalk and lit it.
Not knowing that the trail had a gas cloud.
Yeah.
Well,
3 times the size of the trail you had.
So yes. I mean, thankfully I had put the can away, and I just had the standalone trail on the sidewalk, but I was not prepared for how quickly and how big that flame got on gasoline, because the lighter fluid for the grill does not ignite like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whoosh. You go inside. Wayne, I thought you had eyebrows before you went outside.
Yeah, exactly. I've set my hand on fire. 2 weeks before we had to play a show, I had 3rd-degree burns.
Oof.
I was doing Silvadine dips. But the biggest one that I can think of is, you know how you can play with a can of bug spray and make a little blowtorch and stuff. Mm-hmm. So me and this neighborhood kid were in the middle of the cul-de-sac, and we're like, we're lighting bugs on fire and stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, he's holding that trigger down so long that it actually catches the little cap on fire.
Oh no!
So he drops the can, and I was like, "Don't do that!"
You're watching it in slow mo.
Yeah, and he kicks the can towards the sewer. Now this is
Oh my
fall.
God.
So there's dead leaves in the sewer and everything like that. So the sewer, I'm like, oh crap, now I can't reach this thing. And the sewer catches fire. There's flames coming out of that sewer vent, probably about 3 or 4 feet high. It's big fire going on. And I'm like, you need to go get some water, like a hose or something like that. He's like, okay. And he runs off. And I'm sitting there.
Did you get a boom off of it?
Not a boom, but you could see columns of smoke from the sewers around the neighborhood. Like it was burning through the sewer pipes, all the dead leaves and everything like that.
Oh dear! You know,
He comes running out of his house with a baking sheet full of water, and he's like trying to juggle it and not spill any. And then he like chucks it into the sewer drain, and I'm like, you dumbass, you need a hose. And his dad comes home while there's flames shooting out of the sewer drain, and he's like, what the hell are you kids doing?
Homeless Joe did it.
Goes into his garage, pulls out fireworks, and starts shooting fireworks off his driveway as if it was going to be a distraction for all the smoke going all over the neighborhood. My stepdad at the time comes out of the house and yells at me down at the cul-de-sac, like, what the fuck are you doing? Get inside right fucking now. I'm like, all right, man, see you later. And
your mess.
You heard him, I gotta go.
And I go upstairs to my room, which had a perfect view to the cul-de-sac, and there were columns of smoke like going through the whole sewer system, just like pillars you would see in like Gotham City and stuff.
Yes,
coolest thing ever.
Gotham burns.
And that was. I didn't get in trouble for that, surprisingly. Mm-hmm. But that was pretty epic.
He did it.
Yeah.
Wow.
All because of that dumb neighborhood kid. I wish I could.
Was it your fault? You told him no.
Yeah. No.
The reason why I asked about the boom was when Ethan was little, we would go camping and fishing with Mitch and his son. And I think Ethan was maybe 7 or 8, somewhere in there. And we had the fire going for night. We had done dinner or whatever. And I had stepped away to do something. And as I'm coming back, I see him take the bug spray can was like empty. And so he just tossed it in the fire. And I'm like, what are you doing? Boom!
Jesus.
You digging shrapnel out of your ass.
Oh, that's a scary thing.
Thankfully, we didn't have any shrapnel off of it, but I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
I don't know if it boomed now that I can't go back. I mean, I was a wee Phil, so I don't really remember the...
A wee Phil?
Yeah, I was a wee Phil.
I was just a wee Phil?
I was just a wee Phil.
Well, if you have any good pyromania stories, please leave them in the comments. Send us an email, info.w2jonathan@savortheburn.com. Phil, thank you for eating the tiramisu with us. Miss Katie, thank you so much for making it.
Yes, quite delicious.
Yes, no matter what you're eating, what you're sipping, who you're with, all the things. Never forget.
Keep on tiramisuing and stuff.
What he said and stuff.